With Season 2 wrapping up, I noticed a slight issue that personally irks me, that I would like to discuss in today's video. That being how Angel Dust has sort of been Season 2's punching bag for the sake of the plot, essentially being sacrificed to the story. Not only does this feel unfair, but it feels kind of unnecessary and only serves to make him suffer further. There's making tragic characters, and then there's feeding them to the sharks. If you like the content that I put out, be sure to hit that subscribe button, join the Discord server linked in the description. I do Hellverse content and animation review content every week. Without further ado, let's start this discussion. Alright, so going back to Hazbin Hotel Season 1, Angel is set up to be an SA victim of the porn media overlord of hell, Valentino. Many people already hate Valentino since he is definitely one of the worst when it comes to villains. That is a whole other discussion though. Point being, Angel is portrayed to be this tragic character that we're supposed to feel bad for considering all his past trauma. That of how he fell into a deep consuming drug addiction, as well as signing his soul away to Valentino when he still went by his human name of Anthony. A lot of what Angel has to endure is SA related, since Valentino is an active abuser in general, but especially one of Angel Dust, forcing him to do explicit acts for work whether he likes them or not, since he does say in Season 1 that he makes Val a lot of money. However, we already know that Angel Dust is a sex worker and is in contract with Valentino, and how he's an abuser, yada yada yada. However, Season 2 decides to dial that up a notch with Angel Dust's torment from taking his torment level to like a 9 and now taking it up to 11 out of 10. Firstly, in Season 2, Angel Dust is once again subjected to his boundaries being broken by who else? Charlie of all people, following her supposedly learning to not push boundaries last season. Not once, but twice last season. So why is she doing this again? This selfish dumb bullshit again? I have no clue. However, besides Charlie's character assassination and regression this season, which is a video for a whole nother time, her stupidity here results in Angel having to be humiliated in front of his sexual abusers, two business partners, and Angel even says that Val was likely watching the broadcast since Val gets aroused by people suffering, specifically Angel Dust's suffering. And Charlie's selfish ass just completely ignores his plea for help. Not only does Angel Dust almost die permanently from the angelic spear tied to the train, but he is humiliated in front of the V's as well as the internet since Velvet uploads the clip online for everyone to see how embarrassed he became. And not to mention his sin is revealed by Vox since Charlie made a huge stir about it to get her stupid proof for the hotel working by harassing Angel to get him to spit it out. However, to be fair, I don't know why Angel Dust murdering is supposed to be this big revelation, considering that Vox and Alistair murdered like it was their full-time job when they were alive, not to mention the countless killings we see by the Hellborn in the show. Why is Angel being a murderer supposed to be this big reveal when it really feels hollow? Not only is Angel Dust humiliated by the sexual assault squadron once again, but he also turns out to be a spy for Vox by being brainwashed and gaslit by him to believe everything was fine the whole time and that nothing out of the ordinary was happening to him. So essentially, additional Angel Dust torture and torment was added for the sake of the plot, sacrificing him to give Vox another win and artificially create Vox into a threat since, as we all know, as I spoke in the last video, he was never really much of a credible threat to begin with and required our heroes making dumb, repeated, stupid decisions in order to put Vox on the top of the pedestal, which includes further torment for Angel Dust as a direct result of our main characters being stupid. As well, if Angel was just mind controlled and made to just shit talk the hotel like he did, while this is torturing him since it is brainwashed and just straight up manipulation at that point, in addition to the sexual abuse he receives from Val in his work, as well as being completely, utterly humiliated by the V's as a direct result of Charlie's idiotic and selfish behavior, Angel Dust has to endure days of sexual assault off-screen from Val, and hell, maybe even the other V's while off-screen, who knows. Since not only is he under contract with Val, he's being mind-controlled by Vox. If you still somehow think that Angel wasn't essayed off-screen between episodes 6 and 8, when Sharon Husk find Angel in Valentino's room, he's half naked, appears to be drugged, and from what we can tell, he's slurring his speech and having difficulty speaking coherently. And how he was left laying on the bed just suggesting Val raped him. I understand Angel Dust being mind controlled for the plot, I mean, not really, but at least it makes sense for the plot's sake, I guess. But why does Angel Dust need to be raped for literal days on end between these episodes? We already understand that Angel Dust is tortured and raped from Val normally when working on his sex films, since he is a porn star. So at least that makes sense considering the whole contract, but this really doesn't make sense since it has nothing to do with the contract. I get Viv wants to have this traumatic Spider-Man-esque backstory, but treating your character like a punching bag to make us feel bad and sympathize with them comes off extremely hollow, since the trauma characters like Spider-Man receive results in character development and growth, and are often a result of Spider-Man's own mistakes or the character's own mistakes, such as when he's way too sympathetic with the villains from across the multiverse that he lets his guard down and his actions directly result in the tragic loss of his own aunt, Aunt May, allowing him to take things a little more seriously and not be too overly trusting. The tragedy had purpose and was a result of his mistake, so he can correct it. Besides signing the contract, what ignorant mistake has Angel really made this season at all that resulted in him getting raped for multiple days on end and his ass beat by Vox? He literally did nothing to deserve this shit, and is made to just be this tragic OC that the creator gets to slap a bunch of bullshit of undeserved trauma on for the sake of gaslighting their audience to thinking that the character has any depth besides I suffer, sympathize and feel bad for me. It comes off so shallow, it's so fucking frustrating, since Angel is the last person to deserve any of this shit, especially after the BS he has to already deal with. Most of Hasman's characters are really shallow and lack any significant character. For example, Vecchi's only significant character is that I'm Charlie's girlfriend and I hate my name. However, the one character she attempts to try to put any development behind, she just slaps trauma on him and every chance she gets to create the illusion of development, when the trauma he does receive doesn't really change him at all, and actually makes him farther and farther from redemption since his torture reduces his confidence and willingness to try. Heck, you should make the argument that Angel Dust had a character regression if anything. Remember in season 1 where Angel Dust stood up to Val to protect his friends, and he was much more willing to stand up for himself, showing that he's become not only stronger, but he's become more confident in himself thanks to his friends, and shows early signs of redemption. Well, you can pretty much kiss all that goodbye, because come season 2 by the end, as he now once again thinks his only value is that of being Val's sex slave and a porn star, since now he feels responsible for harming his friends and trash talking the hotel, going back to the miserable state he was already in at the beginning, just when he was about to break free from it, and now he's in an even worse physical and mental state than ever before. Heck, he even refuses to return to the hotel. While his reasons for doing so I guess you could say is admirable, it really makes no sense since 1, Vox is defeated now, 2, his friends all know he was mind controlled so they're not going to blame him, and 3, his friends really didn't get that much hurt from him really. Vox became a threat not so much from Angel spying, but more so from his friends being really stupid. His friends made Vox a threat, not really him, so his guilt makes no sense here, and it's not justified, since he isn't responsible for much of the collateral damage at all. Heck, I would argue that Lucifer was more responsible than Angel in this situation, since he was the stupid moron that fell for Vox's obvious trick that used him to power a cannon that got a lot of the city's residents killed permanently. Especially Charlie, don't even get me started on her, since not at any moment during the finale fight did she try to fight back against Vox, especially when the cannon was pointed directly at her fucking face. So not only does Angel's regression from his guilt make no sense, it's so extremely dissatisfying and caused me to moan and groan in agony about how terribly Angel Dust was handled this season by the end, since the Angel we all know from last season who stood up to Val would never abandon his newly found friends over some bullshit that wasn't even his fault, and it was more so the friend's fault he's trying to protect. Honestly, Cherry Bomb shook off being choked pretty well, I'd say. She looked fine by the end of it. Those are just my thoughts on Angel's trauma and how I don't think it really constitutes as character development, and I feel it's really unneeded and feels like torment, and how season 2 just tortured him for no good reason and disguised it as development, yet another season 2 problem to add to the list. But do you think Angel Dust's trauma is justified, or do you think there is some justifiable reason and he's actually a really complex character? Be sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel for more on the Helloverse, so to all things animation as well. Oh, and join that Discord server in the description below. This has been your host, Axel, signing off once again. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and have a good night.